I'm sharing today over the course of a few years from 2017 and 2021, finding meaning and finding purpose in life. And I'm revisiting this now because I'm going through my writings, and I felt that it would be worth it to share for another. So in 2017, the purpose and meaning of my life was to cope with existential unease, sometimes retreating into nihilism, but it tends to numb all the enchantment eventually. To cope with the empty meaninglessness of nihilism, I have hedonistic tendencies, but these always turn into addictions. They had always. Chasing the filling up, the high, the forgetting, the escape, the pleasure, the thrill, the increased sensitivity, the unpredictability, the sense of approval, and the distraction. It just depends what it is. It could be a person too. And then I revisited this in 2021, and I wrote a lot more on the topic. I had a mind-blowing breakthrough. I'm still integrating. It seemed I'd gone to heaven. I was being waited for. And I chose to stay here and to help people, but I could see death in people and so much impurity. And as I got closer to the void, I recognized the satanic and demonic energy was being purged that was in me. The distance between the light and being what I thought is light. The negative space is what created the black hole. The way my phone and books and iPad have been influencing me and the balance beam of the present moment, I saw the light. It was going to kill me. I saw it playing out in brilliant, hellish ways too, attracting me with godly powers, and I said I couldn't handle it, and I was greedy and cocky to think I could when I was so impure, or when I am. And I asked if I could wait till I'm 40, I guess, for the end. Let's see. I stopped seeing right from wrong, good from bad. I knew nothing. God was talking to me through human beings, my iPad continuing no matter where I turned. I felt the Torah was being played out in my genetic code, and I saw my thought forms arising and the truth beyond the story of Abraham, Sarah, and the rest. I was absorbing information from books without even opening the book, and I begged for mercy. Due to the greed I had, I thought I could handle playing like I'm anything close to the creative capacity, considering I'm constantly taking so much credit or blame. It's soothed and relaxed, and it starts up when I'm being called to act, yet I lost a part of me, innocence. I went through a death I can no longer identify as the person I was, and I've thrown away most of my possessions from before. I was tested. I participated in my own court case with unseen entities and went through tortures. I recognize I'm healing from the trauma of being born in sin, but I also feel I don't know who's in on it, what's real and who to trust. I see a lot of darkness I couldn't see before, and I haven't been able to eat much because I can't taste much. Sex felt impossible, unless only with love maybe I'll be able. I have a terror that we'll do a mistake. It's like I can stay in life and happiness if I keep continuously committing to love. When people talk to me, I can hear deep secrets in what they're saying for them and see it in their body. And this all happened as I was begging to have God in the physical world, and I received so much light I thought I'd shatter. I saw that spilling seed and losing my virginity out of fear, not love, is the biggest darkness I've done, and being sodomized and performing oral sex is the biggest darkness done to me, like being forced to, or being influenced to. I have a friend who God was dwelling in him when I met him because the spirit that moved through him, and we saw open miracles together, experienced Keter, the crown, the Godhead together, and Shabbat Shechina. Shabbat Shechina is the feminine divine dwelling in presence of the queen, the godliness that is the chosen, and that was in February 2021, so about 3 years ago. I can't really tell if I'm dead or alive or dying at times. I feel like a thought or memory sometimes. Everyone's God talking to me, and I'm meant to let godliness pass through. I keep seeing signs and synchronicities beyond random. It feels like I'm going to be punished for enjoying them because I grew up with a God who wants to make sure I don't sin and will hurt me if I do. I was dating an uncircumcised black man. It was a sin. Looking for signs, smoking weed are sins. Looking for guidance and assurance that I'm safe and protected in the physical world, my mind is where there is still some fear, and I want to break through it, so I stop ripping the gravity of love that keeps me bright and light. And I wrote, Love, Shayna. And there's this idea that we're each a candle flame. When we compare ourselves to the sun, though, a candle flame is nothingness. Compared to a dark room, it's very significant. It's worth its weight. We are each worth our weight, and we get to feel important in that way, that we're a flame, because neutralized from being too heavy or light in mattering. So instead of being so heavy, we could flicker up and also light each other. Remember, my cousin told me to listen to what the candles were saying on Hanukkah, the Festival of Lights, and on Shabbos, where we ignite the Shabbos lights. Manis Friedman, who's a famous speaker, he says that God needs us to choose him. He created the dark and the veils and the falsehood and implanted it all so we could have the option, so that we actually have free choice, which is the highest price that God paid for love, like that they'll be able to not choose me, for example. And then to be chosen is it's a big risk. And when the Egyptians were, enslaving the Jews, it made them suspicious of God and a higher power, and that's how they ruled, because they co-opted the imagination against the person, since they felt it could be pro the person. And then we know about Batya, the daughter of Yah, daughter of Para. She wasn't named that until much later on. In later teachings, she was just called the daughter of Para. Later, she was called Basya, the daughter of Yah, because she actually converted. She saved Moshe, and then Moshe saved the Jews. And then Torah and Israel have the word Ra in it, and Ra means bad. So we know that there is only bad when it's separated out. We could see that even in those words. And then Vayera, it has Ra in it too. From Zohar, chapter 24, I wanted to read from there. It said, Peor is the revealed aspect of the serpent. Lot's older daughter, Lot was Abraham's nephew. Avram was considered the first Jew. He was also, because Christianity and Islam were like perversions of Judaism, co-opted teachings. They, he was also the first of. His son was Ishmael, which was later to be the people who in their travels, who in their lineage, they became Muslim. Anyway, so Lot's older daughter named Moab, from father Me'av, became Moab. Open advice, deeds performed in the open, things are revealed. Or I remember I mentioned Paro, the king of Egypt. His name is related to Peor, exposed. And then we have Malkan, who is the hidden aspect of the servant. Lot's younger son, named Ben-Ami, son of my people, became Ben-Ammon. Hidden advice and deeds acted in secret. Ammon, son of the father, became Ammon. Ben-Ami became Ammon, and Me'av became Moab. So, and actually King David comes from the lineage of Moab, because his ancestress Ruth comes from there. So pretty much we can find meaning and purpose in all of these things. And in terms of Jewish marriage, we know that there's a kasuba, and it says that he's going to fulfill his obligations to her. The chuppah is the marriage canopy, and there has to be acceptable witnesses, a ring of value, or something of value, right? Sheva brachos, 7 benedictions, and a minyan, which is a quorum of 10 men. Yichud, where the couple is alone in a private room. And in terms of self-care, we have to see it that we're babysitting inside the godly spark, the flame, the spark that should never go out, the flame of the candle. And we know a leader guides is like a lighthouse. It is a big candle flame, serves people, doesn't do it to get served, serves as a light, had to transverse prior, so knows the way, and has to see where the traveler's coming from, and where the traveler is going. And the last thing I'll share today is about, I got this from Quantum Torah website from Alexandra Poltorak, that change, when we look at it, is time is the measure of change, space is the lack of change, and so space is like it's staying the same, and mass as the measure of inertia is resistance to change. So it's harder to change, like it has substance. Waste, what is waste? Physicality is a byproduct of information. We could even say, and he says, that matter is the excrement of the angels. The angels carry and transmit information, they're messengers, and what gets the residues that are thickened enough to be matter is like the byproduct. So when living beings are working to have balance inside, we excrete energy. There's a divider, there's a host, we excrete to the outside. And then knowledge. Partaking of the tree of knowledge of opposites requires us to be an observer. Participating by taking a stance and a perspective, which then gives us a location and a weight and a viewpoint that requires a physical body. Collapsing the wave function of all the possibilities. Life is like, all about possibilities. So I'll stop here, and I hope that, this was interesting, and I look forward to sharing more either tomorrow or after Shabbos, depending on how much time I have. Okay, bye.